I wish I could remember it, but it's been a while since everything was okay.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is May 29th, 2020. I hope you all are well on this Friday morning. Today is our profit recap slash next week market insights session. So we'll be going over the trades we took, and then we'll be looking for pairs to trade next week. Before we do that, I want to do some admin stuff. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. We tend to choose random winners, and we do weekly draws on Friday. So next Friday, if you join again, you may be able to win one free month of our trading room. So the announcements I also want to talk about is our community Discord. It's the place to be. And if you have not joined, the link to sign up is in the description of the video. Please go sign up. It's free. It will take about a minute to sign up, and you'll be on. The community discussions place is the place to be, but you'll also be able to catch up with our announcements. And I want to go over two very important announcements, and that's the Smart Effects Managed Account Program. So for those that don't know, this is a institutionally based trading strategy by our own institute trader that averages an expected 6 to 10% per month with an expected drawdown of 5%. So you rarely see a program with higher gains than drawdown, but this program achieves that. We also have the Maya Flex book if you want to take a look. This is the strategy itself, and it's doing phenomenal. Again, the drawdown very, very low, and you can see the gains. This month it was a really a good month. It's starting to turn into a good month again. Last month he got around 7.5% gain, so that's actually crazy. And with ATC brokers, you can actually increase the risk or reduce it to your liking. Again, all those details are on the Discord. If you have any questions or you're interested in joining, please email support@forexlens.com and they'll help you get you started. We have a lot of applicants coming in, and for those that are already signed up, you should be seeing your accounts traded once they're funded. The next thing I want to talk about is the Traders Challenge, which also a lot of people have started already, and some people are killing it, especially J traders. So the Trader Challenge is basically where if you grow a demo account once, you can get a lifetime membership with Forex Lens. If you go it a second time, you will get a live funded account to trade. I believe the amount right now is 25K. So if you're looking to start trading that real money and actually a decent size account, this challenge is for you. The only requirement is that you are a member. If you aren't a member, sign up. I'll be giving you a 50% off coupon code at the end. But if you're already a member, do take advantage because you have nothing to lose. Again, to sign up for the challenge, it's absolutely free. So if you're interested in this as well, please email support@forexlens.com and they'll take care of you. So those are the main announcements out of the way. If I'm missing any, I'll be sure to let you guys know at the end. But again, this week has been pretty nice. It had to start off slow just because Monday was technically a holiday. It was Memorial Day for the U.S. and some parts of Europe, so we didn't see much activity, but we had ended the week off with a bang with a few nice trades. So we're going to quickly go over the trades we took. I'm not going to go over every single one just because it would be too time consuming, but here's the trade setups we took, and this week we took in total about 7 trades, and one was a loss, and that was this Euro Pound trade. So we'll quickly go over Euro Pound. Here we have Euro USD that was called early last night, and you can see it has hit our first target. It is a Friday, so it's actually good that most of us secured a profit here, and that's why Fridays, once I get that TP1, I'm done for the day, just because markets can be really unpredictable. And the reason why this move is actually happening is because Trump just tweeted the word China, and the markets are going crazy. But I have an article explaining that, and I'll explain about that in a bit. But again, this was a quick 28, 27 pips, not bad at all. And also USD CAD was a trade that we entered 2 days ago. Took some while to play out, but we did hit our first target. Again, a quick, easy, 20, 23 pips, and actually more so because it went down a bit further. So those are 2 setups we took during the midweek. And then we had a setup that was given. So one of our members asked for analysis for EuroCAD, and I basically gave the setup and all the tools to enter. Here we go. I'll show you. Here's a trade idea, and unfortunately I couldn't call this trade as I was asleep. The entry criteria activated at 5 a.m. You can see this trade played out perfectly and then some. Just quickly going over the chart work. Each setup I analyzed, it has its own chart work to make sure you understand why the trade was taken. So if we go to EuroCAD, here was the entry criteria on the 27th, the Wednesday. 4-hour bullish closure above 1.51570 is required. If you go to the chart, you'll see 1.51570 right here. And then you see this bullish hammer, which is a candle we love to enter long on. It printed, and next thing you know, price launched. And so a few members got it. I was actually pretty jealous I didn't get it, but that's the downside of living in the Eastern time zone. But I'm happy a few members caught that, and that was an easy 110 pips depending on where you took your profit. Fabulous trade there. We also had a equally nice trade for gold. Simple short that we took, and here is the original idea. I'm gonna have to pull it up since we moved it over, but here we go. So for gold, 4-hour bearish closure below 1709 to go short. Here's the analysis, and you can see this was the closure and sell-off we had. This was actually over here, and again a nice 180 pips, depending on if you have half lot size or not. Yesterday we were looking for shorts again since we were rejecting from this level, but we never got there. So the flip side was, we did have a lot of bullish hammers again off this level. It's another price action candle we love. We had one bullish hammer, two bullish hammers, three, and then price just launched. What do you know? Price action, right? And then during the start of the week, we had some mini winners and some winners that could have been big winners, but just because of the current market sentiment, we've been really conservative with our risk. And that was for Euro Aussie, for example. Hopefully the chart is up. If it's not, you can just check out. Here we go. So here's the chart, and we entered on this inverted hammer, one of the favorite candles we like to enter on. And we had a decent size move down. We were looking for more, but to be honest, during these type of conditions, it's good to understand that the markets aren't always going to be moving as clean. I'm not sure why this thing is looking at that. Perfect. So we just do the price. 41 pips. Our first target was actually 25 pips exactly. That's our sweet spot of getting 25 pips. So we got 25 pips, and then our partial position got stopped out at entry. We had a similar setup for USD CAD short in the beginning of the week. Again, TP1 was hit for a nice 25 pip gain. And then US oil, which was a fantastic trade. But because of our risk management kind of protocol, it could have been a lot better. But we took a short from here, and it went all the way down here. If I show you the chart, it's beautiful price action. Where did it go? Majors. Right here we go. Actually might be stuck in the minors because it's technically not a major. But you have to take just the signal's word. We did sell it, and our TP1 was hit, and actually all the TPs were hit, but our partial position got stopped out before the main fall happened. But again, we basically captured a nice amount of pips, 26, 27. And then yesterday, a long idea was given, as you can see from this price action. Again, I told members in the trading room yesterday that 4 hour time frame, you can see price has jumped and pulled back and created support here. If you do get a 4 hour bullish closure, you can go long. You can see here we go again with that bullish hammer, and price has launched up. So it's all the same technicals, the same strategy. You can use it for commodities, Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, whatever you want. But pretty good week, roughly around 320 to 370 pips, depending on what trades you entered in. I was right around 220. Again, that London session kills me, but I need my sleep. So that was how the week went. And now at this point of the session, I'm going to be going over any pair request and some personal pairs I'm going to look for and trade next week. So I'll check with the Discord for any pair request and analysis, and then we'll go from there. So awesome, we have some already. So NZD dollar and gold. So NZD dollar was a pair we analyzed yesterday. If you go to our majors analysis, where my chart work is, we actually analyzed quite a bit yesterday. We analyzed US oil long, pound dollar long, Aussie dollar long, and NZD dollar long. So we'll give NZD dollar a look. Now, from my last check last night, which was pretty late, the trade was not activated, and here you go. So you can see right now we were looking for, if we just revert back, a 4 hour bullish closure above 0.62300. We go to that level, 0.62300 on the chart. You can see there was no bullish closure above, pretty much zero closure above. We just had a wick, and therefore we did not go long. So this trade idea is still pending. I mean, we could have it next week when price pushes way back up here. But with the dollar currently changing its tone with China, we may have shorts for NZD dollar. So that's a possibility, and we'll go over that in a bit. So NZD dollar, we'll see. It's currently stuck in between, this level and this level. And so if next week, if we on Monday morning, if we break this support at 0.61780, then we'll go short back down to these levels down here. If we do pop up above 0.62300, then by all means we'll take the long like we originally planned. So that's kind of what the deal with is with the dollar. If you look at the daily effects article, they printed out a nice one today. Main focus on Trump press conference. He's talking today, and it's going to be mainly about the measures with China, right? So recently, they passed a bill giving Hong Kong autonomy from Chinese government, and they don't want that. Obviously, China does not want that, and so there's probably going to be tensions again. There's already tensions with U.S. blaming China for COVID-19, and there was tensions from 2018, 2019 during the trade war. So now you have more fuel to the fire, and the risk for pullback in risk sentiment is higher, right? So you may see people turn to the dollar in regards to riskier assets such as the miners or the exotic. So that's something to look out for. Last time we traded, the trade war was pretty annoying and hard to gauge as a trader because things happen out of nowhere. But we'll do our best to handle that situation. And then you can even go to Dollar Truck's Twitter. And that's the way he tweeted just a few minutes ago. Where did it go? Here we go. China. 2 hours ago. He just said China. That's all he said. China. And there's also he's actually going in his ongoing battle with Twitter. They're kind of hiding his tweets now because they're against his policy. And then we all know what's happening in Minneapolis with the riots. So the U.S. is in a tough spot, and adding all of that, you have COVID-19 still going on, and an impending, second wave of cases coming. So it's going to be tricky to analyze the dollar, but right now I'm looking at NZD USD shorts just because this thing pulled back from that resistance. It didn't even make an attempt to close above. So we'll be looking for shorts next week, but a lot can change from now to Sunday and going into Monday morning. So we'll keep the long option just for now since it's already analyzed. But that's pretty much it. I'll quickly go over pound dollar because it may be requested, and we did analyze it. Similar story again for pound. We in the trading room do not like to use pending orders. Here's a reason why. People always ask, why don't we just use pending orders or why do I have to watch price action? The reason is because of moves like this, where if you use a pending order for a long, it would have spiked your pending order and immediately stopped you out. I don't think you want that. You rather wait for that surefire bullish closure to go long, and we did not get that, so we'll hold off for now. But pound is actually looking a bit more bullish than NZD, as this candle hasn't really dropped too much and it's trying to fight to come back up. So maybe on Monday morning we might have a long for pound, and we could take that trade we analyzed yesterday. A similar story for Aussie dollar, I'm assuming, just because they're all correlated. So Aussie dollar and NZD USD are pretty much one-to-one correlates. You can see the same reaction we had from that resistance, except it's at 0.66800. Again, sharp pullback. If Monday morning we do see any bearish closures below this level, we can take a short back down to these levels. So very similar to NZD USD. If I hid the names, you couldn't tell which one's from which. That's how identical they are. So the dollar tends to do some crazy stuff on Friday, but that's because there's either news releases such as NFP or Trump saying press conferences, etc. And he's just on Twitter. So Friday's a mess, and I don't really trade Friday or even Sunday. I like to come in Monday fresh and start my 5 days of trading then. Next up, we have gold. Someone asked for gold. Gold for sure, and Powell's speech. Is Powell talking today? I believe. Oh yeah, Powell is speaking right now. Actually, I knew Trump was speaking, but Powell is speaking right now, so he's probably talking stuff too. He said last time he spoke, he said he's down to use all tools to battle COVID-19, even low to zero interest rates. I don't know how true that'll be, but it'll be definitely a surprise if during the session stuff starts going haywire. So Powell is going to speak. Thanks for that reminder, Paul. So gold for next week. Let's get back to gold. So gold, you can see that 1719 level was a huge level. That's why we were waiting for a clear bearish closure below. And yesterday, although we had huge wicks, again, we never had a big body bearish closure or an inverted hammer like we wanted. And that's why a short was not taken. And ideally, what I put it down here because at one point gold had a body all the way down here, but a 1 hour candle spiked back up and the 4 hour turned back to bullish. So that's the volatility for gold. Obviously, the next level, as you can see on the chart, is 1736, and that's been a pretty decent resistance for gold. If you just look to the left, you can see, one sell off here, another sell off here, another sell off here, another sell off here. That's 4 sell offs from that same level. A minor one here, 5, 6 potential setups from that one resistance in the past 2 quarters. I'd say it's a pretty strong resistance to trade. So going into Monday, I don't trade Sunday, so I'm just going to talk about Monday. But going to Monday, if we are here still, which I doubt it, I know Trump's going to rock the markets later today. And if not today, then Sunday. But if for some reason, if we're still here, I'm going to remove this old idea actually. If we're still here, we'll look for shorts just because that's the place where price has reacted and sold off before. If, however, we do pop above 1736, I'm open to longs to 1750. If you guys remember at the start of the year, actually the end of 2019, I said my gold prediction is 1800 for 2020. We're still arm's reach away. If we get 1750, we could easily reach 1800. It all depends on what Powell says today. Thanks for the reminder, Paul, and also what Trump says, right? And how the U.S.-China trade war goes. So we'll see. And speaking of China, right now China and the border between India and China, they're actually moving in troops. I think around 10,000 to 40,000 on each side. It's not good. It's not good to do it during this time, but tough. 2020 seems like an alternative reality. So we're dealing with a lot of unknowns, and when we have a lot of unknowns, riskier assets, or actually safe haven assets like gold, tend to prevail. So your gold, even your Bitcoin, gold, Bitcoin, silver, copper, any sort of commodity or safe haven such as the Swiss or the Japan yen tends to thrive during these uncertain times. So you should see gold go higher. You should see USD yen technically go lower. So next week, if we do break 1736, we will take a long to 1747 or 1750, and then target 1765, which was the previous high we reached in May. So when we went here in May, I really thought we were going to break above and go to 1800, but we reacted to this level, and so that's why it's going to be a target region for gold. But I'm thinking longs, just based off the price action. You can count the hammers, again, 1 hammer, 2 hammer, 3 hammer, 4 hammers, 4 bullish hammers, a lot of buying power. Pretty sure this thing will rock it. But we'll see on Monday. Again, Monday's a free session, so you can come in and join. But looks good. Looks good for longs. Definitely a trend shift. You can even, if you're into trend lines, you can even draw one right now, and you'll see that we broke a clear downtrend. Right? You have your first, second, third touch. You have a clear break, and obviously price hasn't even come down to retest it. So if we do get a rejection down here of this resistance, we could take a short back to the trend line, which is similar to a short to 1719. But I think gold won't look back. Perfect. New Zealand and yen, NZD yen. Let's get that look. So just based off of NZD dollar, I'm pretty sure NZD yen is pretty much doing the same thing. Pretty similar. Thank God we didn't trade this pair this week. Price action was pretty ugly. From the 26th to now, so I guess the last few days, NSD yen has just been kind of stuck in this upward triangle, right? This upward rectangle. Not really doing too much. Should get something more concrete for this. Looking to the left, I'd probably say long. Long would be my bias, just because we're holding put above this resistance. Look to the left. There's a resistance in the past, back in March, the peak of COVID-19, and also support when we created those lows in COVID-19. So if you just come back to here, you can see we broke out of that resistance, came back below, tried to go short, we broke back above, came back below, tried to go short, broke back above, tried to do short, broke back above, tried to do short, and broke back above. So obviously it's a kind of tug of war between buyers and sellers. And so all you do when you have this scenario, and we like these scenarios, is box off the top, which is the resistance we've created, box off the bottom, which is support, and basically any break either way with a 4-hour candle closure, not a wick like this, but actual break, candle break. So either something like this, we'll go long to this level. If we get a break below here, we'll go short to these levels down here, etc., etc. So NZD yen, I'd probably watch out. So these two levels are 69.985, 66, I mean, my bad, 66.985 here. I'll put a call out so it's clear on the video. 66.985, that's the top of the 4-hour range we're in, and then the bottom is 66.385. Right, so that's what we gotta watch out for in a 4-hour break. And then you can just look at the previous 4-hour support and identify, where we're going to target as a target. Obviously, this would be a nice target. Next would be the support down here. Supplier strategy. Again, if we do have a setup on Monday, I'll be happy to give the specific entry prices. But for now, we're just getting a rough idea. But that's the general layout of the trade. Now, if you look at where price is right now, it does have an obligation to technically go back up here. So I guess on Sunday you'll be looking for this scenario rather than this one, but it all depends what happens today. So NZD yen, we can have a pretty solid setup either to the upside or downside next week. Oil. So oil, I mean, we have a high accuracy for oil. I think price action and oil are like twins. So again, if you look at the oil analysis we gave yesterday, we looked at this. We say 4-hour bullish closure above 32.94 required. If you look at the chart, here we have it. Right now, we go to the 4-hour time frame. You can see this is the 32.94 level. Right, you can see on your chart 32.94. Here's my call out. Go long. And what had happened is this thing went all the way up, and I made this caveat to traders in the trade room that if you have a bullish closure but it eats into the profits, wait for price to pull back and then enter, or just forget about it, because obviously we're looking for an entry in and around here, right? Price went all the way up here, which is virtually 85% of our take profit region. It wouldn't make sense to enter now, right? It's just you're playing with fire, because if you compare the RTR from here to here, I mean, it's night and day, right? So right, and your stop loss is going to be all the way down here. I mean, 0.33 risk to reward, only a madman would take this trade, right? So based on that, you can see price has pulled back to that same 32.94 level. You can see 32.94 same level, and you see we printed a bearish hammer, we printed a bullish hammer, and then you had some bullish momentum. So I really wish I could trade the London session. I probably would have took this trade on my own. It would have been a bit risky to take it and call it for traders just because of the USD and CAD news this morning. But personally, I would have taken this trade. But you can see it's just a pullback. And for US oil, I do think we are going back up to this resistance, which we took a short from earlier in the week. So that level of 34.40, 34.50 level is where US oil will go. Currently, it's at 33.65. So around 80 pips left is where it's going to go. And then on Monday, depending on what happens at this level, and depending on what China and Trump do, what Trump says, what Powell says, and how the dollar is for the week, if we're strong on the dollar and we have rejection here, we'll take that same exact short we took here. Once again, right, very simple. We'll do that, all the way down to here, but at least to here for sure. If for some reason, U.S. and China are butting heads, the dollar is bearish, right, etc., etc. We have huge gaps. We'll wait for a 4-hour bearish closure above this resistance. We haven't gotten all quarter above this level, right? Since the pandemic has started, and if you look, just looking at history, just about 3 weeks ago, oil was at negative prices until the world bailed them out, right? Oil went to negative prices or near zero, and countries stockpiled oil. They got all their oil reserves filled up, and oil bounced back up pretty nicely, right? Since then, the highest we have gone is this 32.50, 32.48 level, right? It's a rough level, but 32.50 is 34.50 is a nice way to put it, right? 34.50. So I'd be looking at that level for shorts. If you get a 4-hour break, then we'll go long to 39.40 like we discussed last week, right? When we were looking for longs, but we never got that closure. So that's US oil. Easy pips when you trade US oil. You combine price action and fundamental analysis, and you're good money. All right, so just to make sure I give attention to people on YouTube, I'm gonna look at the YouTube pair requests now. People on YouTube, send in your questions now. So the Trump press conference is right after the market close at 5 p.m. Perfect. Thank God. This guy is the real market mover, so it could get pretty interesting for those that are holding trades over the weekend. Alright, so people on YouTube send in pair recommendations. I'm gonna check right now. Oh, it looks like we have a hater in the chat. That's usually know when you're doing something good. Sorry you feel that way. Alright, so FX Scrub, Aussie Yen, and Silver. Pound Yen. No, I did not cover that. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my phone. I have to look at two things at once. Alright, cool. So I look at Aussie Yen, and then Pound Yen's a great pair as well. We actually had high hopes for Pound Yen this week. So Aussie Yen, give it a look. So if you guys remember, during the midweek on Wednesday, we were looking for shorts for Aussie Yen and Pound Yen. They had similar setups. We were looking for a 4-hour break below 70.996, right? And you can see we never had a candle closure. Again, we want that candle closure or we won't enter the trade. So price spiked back up, and then, you know, the price actually has been consolidated. I mean, usually we like to go for moves like this, right? Like a move like this, or you know, either a move like this or a nice downtrend move. But price action for some reason has been just mumbled up together. You know, for example, you have a bullish candle, 3 bearish, bullish, bearish, 2 bearish, 2 bullish, bearish, right? So there's no real separation created between the candles, and usually these conditions are not really ideal to trade. So what I like to do during these times is actually go to the weekly and see where we have come. So the weekly, it pretty much sums all those candles together, and you can obviously see it's a long bias, right? You are looking for longs for weekly. Looking to the left, you can see we have a long downtrend trend line dating back to 2018 that we have touched once, twice, and haven't touched just yet. So I'm thinking longs for sure. Just based off the weekly time frame, you can see the size of these candles are huge. And if you are a price action master, or if you know your basics, this is a inside bar pattern right here. You have a bullish candle, a small bearish candle, a bigger bullish candle. This inside bar pattern is one of the most accurate patterns you can trade, and especially if you see this on the weekly time frame, you can definitely take a trade, and it's very rewarding. So just based off this one pattern, this inside bar pattern, again, huge bullish candle, small bearish, huge bullish. If you take it just based off this candle alone, you could have easily made around 160 pips just based off that. You don't even need the support and resistance. All you need to know is this pattern, and the higher the time frame that it appears on, the higher the results. We actually saw it before here as well. So big bullish, small bearish, big bullish. You had price, you know, chill out for a bit, do some drawdown, but then you see it launched, right? So based off that, I am bullish for Aussie Yen. So now that we have our bias, we can go to the daily and start looking for a long. So when we go to the daily, you see we've created resistance in and around this level, and I'll just use a resistance zone to kind of cover these wicks. So basically, looking at the anatomy, I'm going to remove the short idea since it's not valid. You can see this candle came up. We've printed an indecision candle. What an indecision candle is when the wick to the top and bottom are relatively equal in size, which it is. Here we have a similar candle, but it could be technically an inverted hammer because the top wick is longer. And now we have a bullish hammer, right? So we obviously have some buyers coming in at the end of the week. Now what we want is for buyers to close above this resistance zone. And the very top of that zone is at 71.900, a nice clean level. So for Aussie Yen, if we do break 71.900, we are heading higher. Just looking to the left, we'll have a good idea of where. So looking to the left, you can see last time we had some resistance around this kind of region. So we're just going to mark that off. And that'll be our upside target, 74.375. Okay, so there you have your trade idea. Obviously, you can take profits before then, so you look for support. So, for example, this would be a nice area to take profits before you get there. A nice, you know, midterm take profit. And if you're looking for something short term, you can also take profits at this previous swing low. Right, this is a previous swing low before we made a new high. And there you have your idea. So here's your intraday take profit. Here's your midday, 2-day holding take profit, and this would be your swing trade take profit. And there you have your idea. Again, level is 71.900. You want to break on the 4-hour time frame, and then this is the overall trade setup you'll have. So your stop loss will be just a bit below the recent support you created down here, and you have a 2.37 R2R setup for Aussie yen. Thank you for that pair recommendation. Someone said for pound yen. So again, pound yen, we had similar hopes to short it, but again, it never just came our way. Going back to the 4-hour time frame. Very simple rule, right? Here's our level, 131.779. We wanted a 4-hour bearish candle closure below this level. As you can see, this candle wicked, but it never closed. The body never closed below, so we could not take the short. And thank God we didn't, because price rebounded nicely, right? So I'm going to move this. And again, pound yen is similar to Aussie yen, but its price action is a bit cleaner right now, and I'd probably look for longs. We are reacting to this resistance. I'm just looking at here. You can see we have a sell-off here, sell-off here, sell-off here, sell-off here from that same exact level, and that's around 133.150, right? My goodness, my throat hurts. 133.150. So that's the level where I'd be looking for buys. Once we break above it, we'll go long, similar to Aussie yen. Again, on Monday we'll look for more entries, but that's the general bias for now. Man, my throat hurts. Next up, someone asked for silver, I believe, right? Let me double check. Silver, and someone asked, Amin, hey, can you see Forex Factory calendar? Yes, I can. Just go to www.forexfactory.com. You can even Google search Forex Factory. I can't see it. Something wrong with yours? You can use other websites too. Daily FX has their own calendar as well, but I just like Forex Factory. It's a simple layout and it looks very easy to read. You don't have to go through much. But yeah, negative fundamentals pretty much across the board for the dollar, other than some personal income. But that's probably due to all the stimulus packages sent out. But again, negative across the board. So we'll see what Powell is saying right now. Silver. Someone asked for silver. And then I'll talk about silver and also some of the exotics we analyzed earlier in the week or last week. I just want to look at, because I don't really trade exotics, but I might. If they're acting the way they are and they're this easy to trade, why not? So silver, it's been a while since we last looked at it. We pulled back all the way to the monthly. Oh right, and we gave it a long. We actually gave a long for this. Let me actually find silver. Forgot someone asked, but I gave a nice long setup. I wonder if I sent in the chart work. I should have. I might have to look for it. But for those that remember, those that have been here, back in March when we were down here and price came back above this blue support zone, I was thinking of long. 1600 was our first target, and then after that, anything goes, and anything can happen after 1600. $16 per ounce, and this thing went all the way up. But a simple trade, we just took this base off, the monthly support and resistance zone. So here's our resistance zone across here, right? We spent much of 2019 capped under this blue zone. That's why we draw it, and then we draw this blue zone here to show our support. Just looking to the left, you can see all the way back in 2007, we had a rally from here. Again in 2009, again in 2015, again in 2018. And during the COVID-19 peak, when we peaked, and I hope that's the peak and it doesn't get any worse, but in March, when we dropped all the way down here, price pulled back, and I'm like, because of this pullback and support zone, I'd be looking for longs. I told you one of my buddies actually bought a bunch of silver during this time, and he's probably doing pretty good right now, but along with the idea, we had $16 as the first kind of area. Silver is probably going to make its way up to these highs right here. Around 1850 would be a nice level, so I'll probably just put that so you can see. 1850, right? So 18,500, $18.50 per ounce is where silver should be by next week latest. This should technically be good for gold, but these two aren't always the truest correlates, so just be mindful of that. But very simple silver analysis. Getting who asked me, but I'm pretty sure someone asked me for this setup. But that's what I think for silver. If you're not in the trade already, I'd wait for 1850, see what happens there. If we do break above 1850 on the 4-hour time frame, then go ahead and try to take longs, maybe to. And I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but looking to the left, we could go as high as $20 per ounce, right? But we do need to break that critical 1850 resistance to do that. So if you're in the trade, pretty sure you secure profits, especially since it's Friday and Trump will be speaking and Powell speaking and China and Trump are going head to head. You want to make sure you secure the profits and move on with your weekend. Perfect. Any other last minute questions? I'll send it here. Last minute questions. And I'd open up that personal DM, but I don't want to put someone on blast. They might see something personal. Amin said USD explode the market and there's something going wrong. No, USD is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing, and that's eating dirt, right? Not being offensive, but is going down, right? So, for example, if you look at silver, right? This is silver versus the US dollar. Silver is going up because currently the US dollar is presumed to be weak. Now there are some pairs, for example, USD CAD. We just got stopped out at partial position. Our partial position just got stopped. But if you look at it, the 1 hour, yes, it shot up considerably, and this can happen when, for example, Powell is speaking, or Trump says something bad about China. This can happen. But if you look at the downtrend that USD CAD was on, like this downtrend, this minor move right here is nothing compared to this downtrend. So, I mean, if you look at the grand scheme of things, like the daily time frame, you see this move is nothing compared to the past move. So, US dollar and USD CAD, for example, a huge sharp move down. You had, some buyers come in, some buyers come in. You had a huge candle, you pull up, and then you have a sharp move down. So this kind of pullback is nothing to be alarmed at, because we've had pullbacks like that and even worse in the past. So again, it's all fundamentally driven, and that's why, again, I tell people, get that 25 pips. I know you want to get those big moves that we are used to in March when the world wasn't ending, but that's the current market, so you have to take those profits. Otherwise, you're just going to be getting stopped out left and right from your greed. So the USD is doing what it wants to do. I mean, if you look at Euro has reacted a bit to USD, but the daily still looks bullish. I mean, it's not the bullish candle we like to follow, but nonetheless, the candle is still a bullish candle. If you go to 4 hour, you can see that reaction it had, that meltdown, is turning into a bearish hammer, which could actually mean it's now time to go back up. So that's why I usually let Friday filter out the noise, Sunday filter out the noise, then Monday during the New York session when Wall Street opens, we have a clean idea on the markets, and there's a lot less noise to filter out. So, it's going to take some getting used to understand the theatrics behind the dollar and the Federal Reserve, but they say one thing and do another, so it's always good to watch the speeches when you can, but the dollar is doing what it's going to do. It's not really anything out of the ordinary. So, alright, I think everyone's pair recommendations are good. Euro, NOK, and perfect use reminded me. So we also analyzed USD, NOK for someone, I believe it was Jay as well, and that's also a good trade. That's going pretty well. So I think it was also Euro SEK that we analyzed, and yeah, so we analyzed this. For a quick reminder for someone that asked this, we had this analysis done on the 21st of May, and I told them that wait for price to come to the support and then wait for a reaction to go long. Obviously, you see no bullish reaction off this level, so you would not go long, even on the 4 hour time frame. Right, when we come to this level, came here actually this morning, no bullish reaction at all. Price actually just crushed the level. So if you're looking for this trade, maybe Monday morning I can give you a short setup if it still stands. The Euro NOK popping all the way to the monthly since I've never traded this pair in my life. I'd say short just based off the way it's going. So let's go back to history. Get a quick little history lesson. Oh, I'm on the 8 hour, that's why. My bad. So on the monthly time frame, you can see in 2007 we opened here. Since then we've been on a pretty decent uptrend, right? But you can see these last 2 months. This was March. This was February. In March we started to come down. So I'm saying short based off this price action. If you look at the candlesticks, this was an indecision candle because the wick to the top and the bottom are equal in length, relatively equal. This next candle, however, is an inverted hammer, long wick to the top, short at the bottom. This tells me it's a sell signal, right? Just based off that, go to the weekly. We'll start to identify levels on the weekly. I can already identify this level right here, this resistance slash previous swing low as a target. You can see right around here, 10.28310. I know that's a long number, but 10.28310 was a resistance here, and then it became a minor support before we launched off, right? So again, the current 4-hour candle is an inverted hammer. We had an inverted hammer here as well. So there are some sellers pouring in, and price will be magnetized to this level. Now, when we go to the daily, you see on the daily, you can identify your supports. So right off the bat, I'm gonna look at this wick area right here. So when we started that huge uptrend, we created a higher low here before we launched up. We created a higher low here, we launched up, right? So price is currently in and around that previous higher low area. So I'm gonna mark that off as well. And what that's gonna do for us is give us an entry criteria. Now that we have identified a key level, we're gonna wait for a 4-hour bearish closure below to take the short to continue down. As you can see, as of late on the daily time frame, the kind of momentum, right? We used to have these big bearish inverted hammers, big bearish inverted hammer, big bearish inverted hammer, big one, big, etc., etc. And then, starting on the 19th of May, these candles have started to get smaller in size. The moves have started to get a lot smaller. So what that tells me is we might be losing momentum. But if next week on Monday we see a huge bearish candle like this with the inverted hammer, then we're gonna go short, back down to 10.28310. That's my idea. And the stop loss will be above the previous high right here. Oh man, my throat is killing. Pretty sure it's just all the talking I've been doing. So this is the idea we will have. Right? The stop loss actually could be a bit better if we're being quite honest, but I think this is safe for exotics because the exotics can be very volatile, but 1.9 is still pretty good in my opinion, and this could be a decent setup. So I'll save this and I'll send it in on Friday, like right now, but I really hope you don't enter it until Monday just because it'd be risky to enter trades right now or even on Sunday. Speaking of this, USD NOK was a setup I analyzed for one of my good friends and members on the portal. We use the same parameters and analysis for USD and OK. All I said was we need a 4-hour bearish closure below this level. And if you look at the anatomy and just look at this entry candle 1 inverted hammer, you can see this one right here was an inverted hammer, and he even gave us the second entry candle was a candle which was another inverted hammer. You can see price pulled back for some drawdown and then completely fell, and the amount of pips that could have been made here is ridiculous, actually ridiculous. This is more than you can make with gold, but almost 200 pips, right? Just under 200 pips could be made off a simple 4-hour closure, but that's what you do when you simplify trading. Alright, so I think everyone's pairs are done. I'm gonna give the 50% off coupon code now. So if you're looking to join these live sessions, they're free on Monday and Friday, but on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, when we do that juicy analysis and send out trades and signals, those are for paid members. If you're looking to join, we have a pretty damn good promotion where you get 50% off your first month. And what you will get is all the live sessions, all my signals, and all the other signal providers. So these are the providers we have right now That's a lot of providers. On top of that, you're going to get, for example, Pipsology, Elliott Wave Analysis, Genius Ben, so different trading styles and different types of trading ideologies, right? So you can follow which strategy works for you, and full access to on my chart work and majors and minors analysis, as well as everyone else's chart work. That way you can see how trades are being taken. And to get this, all you need to do is use coupon code FIRST50, right? So this is the coupon code. You go to forexlens.com and you go to Forex Trading Room, click Get Started. Then you're gonna fill out this form, click Next, and then you'll see a thing called Enter a Promo Code. Once you enter first 50 and you hit Enter, you'll see the price got deducted in half, and your first month is only $48.50. You can't beat that value, especially during the pandemic when a lot of layoffs are happening and people are losing jobs. This is a great way to earn money and spend that extra time you have on a valuable skill set that'll be useful not even now, but after the pandemic is done and life returns to normal. So again, I hope I see new members on Monday's session as well as Tuesday, so we can get some new members in the paid room and learning. A lot of people are making great strides, and so that is that. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hopefully this is a sore throat and nothing else. Might be in trouble, but prayers up. And I'll see you guys on Monday for another live session. So hope you guys are safe. Have a great weekend, and peace.